The Three States of Mind at the Time of Death by Master Huijing. At the time of death, a person experiences three distinct states of consciousness. First, the state of lucid awareness. Second, the state of triple attachment. And the third, the state of muddled consciousness. The state of lucid awareness. This state occurs during one's final moment. Before the last breath is drawn, the individual retains lucid awareness, with all five senses functioning. As these faculties gradually fade and the ability to see, hear, or move diminishes, only the mental consciousness, the sixth of the six sense faculties, remains. One now goes into the state of triple attachment. The state of triple attachments. This state encompasses three forms of attachment: to one's external environment, including worldly possessions, to one's physical body, and to the intermediate state between death and rebirth, the bardo state. This is what is called the state of triple attachments at life's end. First comes attachment to the external environment, including worldly possessions. The dying person desperately clings to their spouse and children, as well as to their material possessions. As they recognize their impending separation from everything familiar, letting go becomes intensely difficult. When the person can no longer see, hear, or move, all he has left is his faculty to think. That is, his mental consciousness. His attachment shifts to his own body, since connections to loved ones can no longer be maintained. He thinks he can at least hold on to his physical body. Finally, as the last breath draws near, awareness of the bardo state begins to emerge. This creates attachment to the transitional state itself, as the person grasps at their future karmic destiny. Most people don't understand the truth of the universe. This includes the laws of causality, impermanence, emptiness. All things are empty of inherent existence and nature, suffering, and absence of an unchanging self. As a result, they form strong attachments to their ego, relationships, and material things. However, those who practice the Buddha Dharma can let go of these attachments when their time is up, because they understand the true nature of life. Buddhist practitioners, like all ordinary people, shoulder responsibilities and obligations within their families and society. However, they are keenly aware that these are just part and parcel of life, not life's ultimate purpose. This is especially true of those who practice Amitabha recitation. They know that when faced with choices in their final moments, they will naturally choose rebirth in the land of ultimate bliss. They'll let go of everything, knowing full well that fame and fortune and all lingering desires ultimately are but dust in the wind. Not understanding this truth can have catastrophic consequences. If attachments hold you back from reaching the land of ultimate bliss, you'll be bound in the lower and wrenched realms of existence. You might think you'll meet your loved ones again, but even if your paths cross in future lives, you'll pass each other by as strangers. The land of ultimate bliss is different. Once there, Amitabha Buddha's blessings give us the power to watch over our children and their children, and the spiritual strength to guide our parents, children, and all our family members, past, present, and future, toward liberation. Those who practice Amitabha recitation get this. Sure, they live normal lives like everyone else, but when it comes down to that final moment, the ultimate fork in the road, they know exactly what to do. They'll release their attachments, focus purely on reciting Amitabha's name, and set their course for the land of ultimate bliss. The state of muddled consciousness. This refers to the moment of one's final breath. At this point, the sixth consciousness, our ability to discern right from wrong and making decisions, stops functioning. With this faculty gone, the individual, being powerless and unable to resist, is carried by karmic forces stored in the eighth consciousness, Alaya Vishna, which propel them into the cycle of transmigration. But those destined to fall into hell, the scenes of hell will appear before them. But those bound for the realm of hungry ghosts, visions of that realm will manifest themselves. When these visions arise, the mind is filled with extreme fear. Once these karmic visions arise, they cannot be resisted or discerned. For example, someone falling into the hell of Swords Mountain and Blade Trees might see what appears to be an enchanted garden. Overcome with joy at that sight, they step forward, only to find themselves suffering the torment of the Sword Mountains and Blade Trees. Similarly, for those fated for the Hungry Ghost realm or other hells, they might see a beautiful heavenly maiden and feel an instant desire to follow her, only to fall into their destined state of wretchedness. The visions seen in a bardo state are all illusions shaped by one's mind and karma. Since these are mere illusions, they are inherently deceptive. What seems pleasant or joyful on the surface is, in reality, a gateway to suffering and misery. Final reflections and afterward. Dharma quotes from Master Huijing. Amitabha reciters who, either during their lifetime or in their final moments, place their faith in Amitabha's deliverance, are immediately reborn in the land of ultimate bliss, skipping the bardo state entirely. Of the three states of consciousness experienced during one's final moment, it is in the first state, the state of lucid awareness, that those who recite Amitabha's name can see the Buddha coming to welcome them into the land of ultimate bliss. 南无阿弥陀佛。